Well, video games have come a long way since they looked like this. This is what I played pretty much constantly when I worked as a petrol pump attendant during my gap year. Now games are slightly bigger, bolder and better, and for the first time Microsoft and Sony are going to be launching their new games consoles within a week of each other. The Xbox One is launched in the UK in less than 9 hours' time. It's going to start and go on the shelves at about $500 a piece, while the new PS4 is priced at $400 and was released just last week. So who's going to come out on top in the battle of the consoles? Well, let's go to Lucas de Jong, who is in the world's newsroom. Are you playing?
I'm not playing at the moment. We've got two people playing, keeping these screens very active for us. On this side, the PlayStation 4, and on that side, the PlayStation 1, the Xbox One, because this is what we're talking about, John. It's one of the great rivalries that's going on at the moment. Forget the Ashes. It's all about Xbox versus PlayStation. So to walk us through these two consoles, I'm joined by Daniel Emery, our BBC technology reporter. Daniel, how have we got into this point where we're talking about Sony's PlayStation and Microsoft's Xbox?
Well, it's hard to believe, actually. It's 20 years since the first of these consoles came out, back with the PlayStation 1. The previous generation consoles, the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, came out 7-8 years ago, and they're kind of obsolete. During that time, Nintendo came out with the Nintendo Wii, which changed everything, and last year they came out with another console, the Nintendo Wii U, but that was quite disappointing, should we say this. So now, at the moment, it's kind of a two-horse race between Sony and Microsoft.
So let's look at the consoles. What are we looking at here?
Well, they're quite different in some respects. Underneath the hood, we'll talk about that later, they're quite similar, and they've both got these motion sensors and cameras. But if you look at the Xbox here, the Xbox One, it's quite big, it's quite bulky. Now, when it originally showcased, Microsoft intended it to be sort of a media hub console. It was going to do games, it was going to do your telly, it was going to do your Skype, whereas Sony went straight and went, you know what, it's about the games, the other stuff's incidental. So Microsoft wanted you to get rid of all your clutter under your TV and have that. Sony wanted it to sit alongside everything else.
For people sitting at home, they must think it's absolutely crazy that these two major companies have launched these within a week of each other. Why have they done it that way?
Well, first of all, business. There's big money at stake. When PlayStation launched in the US last week, it sold 1 million units in 24 hours. That's some big numbers. And neither company wants the other one to kind of get a lead of a month, 2 months, 3 months ahead, because whoever gets the market sewn up at the beginning, the other one's got everything to work for to get it back. So they've almost, in business terms, almost a simultaneous launch, both in the run-up to Christmas, because certainly in Europe, that's when the vast majority of sales happen for these devices.
And you talked there a bit about the market. Who is the market for these? Because it's not these teenage boys that we used to have, is it?
Well, it's still those teenage boys, but all those teenage boys have grown up and had kids, and they're still into their games, and their children into games now. So the market has grown massively. There's a separate market known as the casual gamer market for people that use their iPhones or tablets, but this really is for the gamers, for the solid gamers, the people that go home on a Saturday night and want to play Call of Duty or Ghost Recon or Battlefield. And quite a lot of them actually are in the 30s and 40s and have got kids of their own.
Oh, those legendary men.
I'm one of them.
I'm sure you are. Don't worry. And my last question for you is, what sort of sign have we seen so far to how successful some of these are selling? Because PlayStation has been out for a week already in the States.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Xbox are not out yet, so we'll have to wait a couple of weeks to see what their sales are like. But certainly PlayStation in the US proved very, very popular. They're both going to do very well. They've both got their legions of fans. In the UK, looking at the Amazon pre-order chart, PlayStation's got a slight lead over Xbox at the moment, but there's many other outlets, many places you can buy these devices, so, you know, really we'll have to have a conversation in January and we'll actually see who the winner's going to be. But even then, they've got years of life ahead of them.
Let's do that. Daniel, thank you very much. John, we're going to do some pretty serious gaming time. I believe you've got a couple of guests there that can do a bit of an argument against this side and this side.
Yeah, Lucas, just before you go, ask Daniel, did he have to borrow that tie? It's the first time I've ever seen him in a tie.
This tie?
Yeah.
Daniel bought it especially for us today, John.
It's my
purely
club,
for
my
this.
club tie, John.
Good luck, mate. Good luck. Very good. Thank you very much indeed.